There is a war happening right now for the future of XRP. And most people have no idea it's happening. On one side, the United States Senate, preparing to vote on the most consequential crypto legislation in history. On the other, law enforcement agencies trying to kill it. And right in the middle, XRP, trading at $1.05. Down 10% this week. Fighting to hold a psychological line that could determine everything. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what the Clarity Act means, why XRP is at this critical level, and what happens next. On June 1, 2026, the Digital Asset Market Clarity Act, or Clarity Act, was formally placed on the United States Senate legislative calendar. That's step 5 out of 9 steps needed to become law. Here's what this bill actually does. It establishes a clear regulatory framework for digital assets in the United States. For XRP specifically, it would cement the token's current commodity status into law. That means shifting oversight from the SEC, the agency that sued Ripple, to the Commodity Futures Trading Commission. A fundamentally different regulator with a fundamentally different approach. But here's where it gets complicated. Section 604 of the bill, which deals with law enforcement access to crypto transaction data, has triggered strong pushback from the Department of Justice, the FBI, and other federal agencies. They're arguing it could hamper criminal investigations. And that pushback has created enough uncertainty to drive XRP down 10% in a single week. Senator Lummis is pushing for a July 4 floor vote. The clock is ticking. Let's look at the chart. XRP is trading at $1.05. The psychological $1 level is just 5% below us. And the technical picture is flashing warning signs. The RSI, Relative Strength Index, is at 32. That's oversold territory. Traditionally, that signals a potential bounce. But oversold can stay oversold when the macro backdrop is uncertain. The 20-day moving average is at $1.12. The 50-day is at $1.24. Both are above the current price, meaning the short-term trend is bearish. But here's the interesting part. The Bollinger Band lower bound is at $1.01. That's effectively the floor. If XRP holds above $1, the entire technical structure says this is a low-risk entry zone. The question is whether the Clarity Act uncertainty breaks that floor, or whether it becomes the catalyst that sends price the other way. While the US political drama plays out, Ripple just won a massive victory on the other side of the Atlantic. The company secured a MiCA license in Luxembourg. MiCA, the Markets in Crypto Assets Regulation, is the European Union's comprehensive crypto framework. It's being called the gold standard for crypto regulation worldwide. This license allows Ripple to offer its payment and custody services across all 27 EU member states from a single regulatory approval. That's not a small thing. That's a direct pass into the world's second-largest economic bloc. Think about the asymmetry here. The United States is fighting over whether to have clear rules. Europe already has them. And Ripple just got a license to operate across the entire continent. This is the kind of narrative that institutional investors watch. Despite the price weakness, something unusual is happening. XRP spot ETF inflows just crossed $1.75 billion. Institutional investors are buying the dip. They're treating this legislative uncertainty as a buying opportunity, not a reason to flee. Why? Because institutions see the Clarity Act as a binary event. If it passes, or even if it doesn't pass but makes progress, it removes the single biggest risk factor for XRP, regulatory uncertainty in the United States. $1.75 billion is not paper hands. That's smart money positioning for a regime change. So here's the bottom line. XRP is navigating 4 converging narratives simultaneously. Number 1, the Clarity Act vote, probably before July 4. Number 2, the psychological $1 support battle. Number 3, Ripple's MiCA license opening Europe. And number 4, $1.75 billion of institutional inflows. Each of these individually is significant. Together they create a setup that could define XRP's trajectory for the next year. The smart money is buying. The charts say oversold. The legislation is moving. And Ripple is expanding globally. If you found this breakdown valuable, subscribe. I break down crypto's biggest stories every week. Drop a comment, Do you think the Clarity Act passes before July 4th?